Hello and welcome to the Talk Villa podcast. I'm your host Samit Paul, and in today's episode we are taking a look back at Aston Villa's 4-0 win over Bournemouth this past weekend. A stunning free kick from Emiliano Buendia got us on our way before Amadou Onana's excellent strike from distance doubled our lead. Goals from Ross Barkley and Daniel Marlon then made the game safe in the second half, but Emiliano Martinez undoubtedly deserves a shout out too. As with every game, I'll be discussing my 5 key talking points as we have a deeper dive into the Bournemouth game. But first, let's have a listen to Unai Emery and his thoughts on our win as he spoke to Villa TV after the game.
Very happy how we are finishing before this break, competing, being more responsible even everything we are doing, and the players getting mature and competing like we did this month against Tottenham, against Manchester City, against even Liverpool losing, against on Thursday Maccabi, and today really fantastic, and how we are progressively getting better and performing better. The commitment we need to achieve everybody and as a team, and connecting with our supporters here with the energy we need, really fantastic. And then the quality of the players, Emiliano Buendia's goal, Emiliano Martinez save, Malen goals, how we perform as well individually, and each one with their rules, helping the team, really fantastic.
That was Unai Emery speaking to Villa TV after the game on Sunday. So, on to my 5 key talking points then, and we'll start with my guy, Emi Buendia, and his redemption arc continuing this past weekend. That's now 4 goals and 2 assists in 14 appearances so far this season for Buendia, as he continues to add more chapters to his comeback story. Now, every Villa fan, every so often, has that one particular player that they want to see succeed, alongside the rest of the team, of course, and Buendia is certainly that individual for me. He's gone through a lot of challenges during his time with us, be it the serious knee injury that he suffered, the competition for places which pushed him down the pecking order, but he's remarkably forced his way back into the picture at Villa this season, even after a loan spell at Bayer Leverkusen last season, when many thought that perhaps his time with us was over. And he's not only forced his way back into the picture, but he's now making a key impact for Unai Emery again on a consistent basis. And it's not just with the goal contributions. You look at his work ethic and his commitment to the team. Those aspects don't go unnoticed either. And I think many of you will have noticed that during the game against Bournemouth on Sunday, where he sprinted almost the length of the pitch to get back, track back and win possession back. Yes, the pass followed after that gave away a corner, but the intent, the desire, the commitment from Buendia can't be questioned. So I'm delighted for him, and I'm hoping that he can continue to produce magic like we saw on Sunday afternoon with that stunning free kick to break the deadlock. But I think from the more general perspective, the general picture, he's making an important contribution to the team as part of the squad this season, and hopefully that continues. On to the second point, and that is Amadou Onana stepping up and filling a key void. Now, the loss of Youri Tielemans to injury was a massive setback for us. We all know the influence and the importance that he has in our midfield in terms of setting the tone, controlling possession and tempo, and losing him for a number of weeks was a major setback. Emery then looked to Onana to step in and step up alongside Boubacar Kamara to fill that void in our midfield pivot. Now, I think it's fair to say that Onana hasn't always entirely convinced the entire fan base since he arrived last year. A big part of that has been his inability to stay clear of injuries and be a consistent presence in the team. However, along with his continuing adaptation process under Emery, getting to used to what he wants as part of the system, as part of the setup and how we want to play, I think he's put together his best run of form for us over the past few weeks since he's joined us, and he capped that off with an excellent finish against Bournemouth to double our lead. He's physical, he's athletic, he's not only a shield in front of the defence with his ability to break up possession, win it back, retain it, but he's also a driving force going forward at times too. And I think if he can hopefully stay fit and continue to build on what he's shown for us during Tielemans' absence, he's going to have a very important role to play this season as we try to compete across multiple fronts. So I'm really impressed, really happy with Onana, and hopefully he can continue on this path that he's on now. The third point is Emi Martinez and his decisive impact and contribution this past weekend. It was a week on from his blunder at Liverpool, but he looked like he had a point to prove this past weekend. There was a couple of really good saves that he produced to deny Bournemouth. There was one standout save in the second half where he was sprawling back and tipped a deflected shot over the bar to keep us ahead. But the exceptional stop, the pick of the bunch, was his save from the penalty spot, which in itself, in isolation, was a brilliant piece of goalkeeping. But on top of that, it was a hugely decisive moment in the game. At that time, in the early part of the second half, Bournemouth were undoubtedly on top. They were building momentum, they were building sustained pressure. Villa were sort of dropping back a little bit too deep and falling into that trap that we see so often. And there was a fear that if Bournemouth had got back into the game, half their deficit, then who knows what might have gone on to transpire from that point onwards. However, Martinez wasn't interested in finding out, and his impact was critical on Sunday. So a really good bounce back for him, and just a sort of reminder of his importance and his ability to be decisive in the outcome of games. So really impressed and really happy for him. On to the fourth point, and that is the nice moment for Ross Barkley getting on the score sheet. It's been a tough run for Barkley since he rejoined us last year. He's missed a lot of football through injury and personal reasons, and that subsequently limited him to just 35 appearances in his second stint with us so far. A lot's expected from him by Emery, I think, given his experience, leadership and his technical ability. He's very good at playing that particular role in the midfield pivot, but also in a more advanced position if needed. He's returned to the matchday squad on a more consistent basis in recent games. He's been included in the Europa League squad now as well, after Tyrone Mings suffered his injury. And so it's hoped that his goal on Sunday will be the catalyst for him to really kick on. It was nice to see him get that moment after what has been probably a very difficult, frustrating and disappointing period for him being unavailable for so long. But he made an important contribution in effectively killing off the game for us. But he has to back that up now and establish himself as a pivotal part of this squad as we chase success. The fifth and final point is Villa turning a corner as we eye the festive period run. The corner has seemingly now been fully turned for Villa, as although I think we'll obviously face more adversity and setbacks again in the coming months, we're now playing like an Emery side again on a consistent basis with the confidence and belief in the structure and the principles that he's put in place. I think during our slump in the early part of the season, there were a lot of worrying signs of what we were seeing. Just the inability to sort of show the composure, the ability, the defensive solidity, all the key sort of pillars of what made us so successful under Emery prior to that. I think we were lacking in cohesion, we looked disjointed, there was a lack of confidence obviously, and just generally our play was really poor and we were leaking silly goals. So to see those sort of key principles return and the way that we're playing now with confidence and playing good football as well as picking up important and positive results. As I said, we're now 6th in the table after 11 games. It's just a point adrift of a place in the top 4, which will obviously be the ultimate objective when it comes to the Premier League again this season. We've got momentum on our side, both on and off the pitch, as we'll go on to discuss new contracts in a minute, but it's all undoubtedly adding to the positive environment at the training ground too. And it's hoped that we're primed for a big winning run in the back end of November now, going into the festive period, which will obviously be crucial in setting the tone for how our campaign will eventually play out in the second half of the season. So as mentioned, there was more contract news this week as Morgan Rogers became the latest to put pen to paper on a new deal. He follows the likes of John McGinn from last week. There was Luca Dean, Boubacar Kamara, Tyrone Mings over the summer. So Villa are taking important steps towards maintaining and securing that core of the squad. Rogers put pen to paper on a contract that keeps him with us until 2031. It's just a year added on to his previous deal, but it's obviously likely that there was a significant salary increase included in these latest negotiations, not only rewarding him for his form since he arrived in January 2024, but also putting him in line with where he should be relative to the rest of the squad now, given his role and importance within that group. I think it goes beyond his goal contributions as well. You look at how he's become such an integral cog in Emery's way of wanting this team to perform in his preferred system and style of play. Rogers' ability to find those pockets of space, turn and attack and keep our moves flowing and exposing space in the final third. I think he's become so important to how we want to play. And on top of that, I think from his perspective, he'll see how much he's developed and how quickly he's developed under Emery's guidance. That's not only led to him becoming a pillar of this Villa team, but he's gone on to become a regular England international now as well. He's taken his game on significantly since he arrived. Still only 23 years of age. So I think this was almost a bit of an obvious outcome in terms of him signing a new contract, but it's good to see that both sides are committed to continuing together for the long-term future. Cynics among us might think this could be a sensible ploy from a Villa angle in terms of protecting our own interests. Should interest be expressed in Rodgers again next year, he was linked with moves elsewhere last summer. But ultimately, I think whether that's the case or not, it's a smart move to secure the future of another key player who forms part of the core of this squad now. So fingers crossed he continues to go from strength to strength in a Villa shirt for many more years. He has the ability and the opportunity to be the face of the club in what will hopefully prove to be our best years under Emery. So this contract really does solidify that opportunity now to kick on and take us forward. So fingers crossed that happens and he and Villa both enjoy significant success in the coming years. So that's a wrap on this episode of the Talk Villa podcast. A big thank you for listening. As always, I really do appreciate you taking the time to tune in. Please subscribe to the pod or channel depending on where you're listening, whether that's on Apple Podcasts, Spotify or YouTube. And as I always say at the end of these podcast episodes, I hope to build a great community of Villa fans here eventually and develop and grow this pod over time into covering more content and getting you more involved as the listenership grows. So give the episode a like, leave a review if you've enjoyed it, sign up to the Talk Villa Plus newsletter on Substack for ad-free Villa news, opinions and analysis delivered directly to you and with a paid subscription for bonus content. All the details for this will be in the description of this podcast, but for more, please go to talkvilla.substack.com and subscribe. So after the disappointing loss to Go Ahead Eagles and then again against Liverpool, we've bounced back in the Europa League and Premier League respectively with wins against Maccabi Tel Aviv and then Bournemouth this past weekend. Villa on the right track. We're now performing well at a high level again. Bournemouth is not an easy game. They've really impressed me under Andoni Iraola, not only this season, but just generally the body of work that he's produced since he was appointed at the club. So I think this is a really, really impressive win and it should be a massive confidence boost for the players and everyone concerned that we're on the right track and we're capable of going on another big winning run in the festive period. We're not in action again until Leeds away on November 23rd now, so hopefully this international break, although we're in a much better position and it's a much more enjoyable break given the recent results with wins over Bournemouth, Man City and Tottenham, to name but a few in recent weeks. Hopefully it doesn't disrupt our momentum and our confidence and belief in ourselves that we're starting to build back up again. So another positive result. I'll be back with the pod after the Leeds game later this month. But until then, up the Villa.